Jenny Turner with Lovejoy Real Estate. Welcome to another episode of Real Talk. Today we're here talking with Alicia about kind of what she's seeing in the market, in her market, what's going on, agents, all that. Welcome so much.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Alicia Soekawa. I'm out of Richmond, Virginia market, and it's in Central Virginia, and we're on the opposite side of Jenny. And also in the Tom Ferry ecosystem, I'm also a Tom Ferry coach. I own a brokerage called The Collaborative. It's a small boutique brokerage, so we do a little bit of everything. And I happen to have my husband working in the business with me as well. So lots of different parts going.
That could be a whole nother conversation,
Yes.
right?
Yes, it is.
So tell me a little bit about your team.
Okay.
Size, are you growing? What are you looking for? That kind of thing. Let's start there.
I call myself the accidental brokerage. I had no intention of opening a brokerage up. It turned into something where I was growing out of the brokerage I was at, and I wanted to expand on my team, and there really wasn't in my opinion at the time, a place for that. So it opened my thoughts to, hey, why don't I look into becoming a broker owner myself?
Got it.
So I partnered with a company that allowed me to do that, and now we own The Collaborative. So it kind of happened and kind of unfolded, I guess serendipitous is what I would say, but in a really cool way and manner. Sometimes every day I'm thinking, oh my gosh, like Tom said a long time ago during one of the coach masterminds, you're flying the plane as it's like being built or whatever, and it's scary every day.
Yeah.
But I don't think you don't realize it until you're in it. So that's what we're building. It's a small boutique right now. We kind of grew really quickly, realized that it wasn't the right fit for some things, and so we've had a lot of attrition and turnover and staffing turnover because we're figuring it out.
So it's hard sometimes when you don't have that end vision in mind quite yet, right? We're still figuring out what is that end vision.
Yes.
Are you a team brokerage? Are you a team plus a solo brokerage? What does that model look like for you?
So we have 3 different versions in our brokerage.
Okay.
We do have a team. So it's Alicia and Company, which I transferred over from Long and Foster, which is where I was at.
Yep.
And it was just, I have, the website and everything was behind it. So we have team agents, we have solo agents, and then we have a build out for something called extended offering, which is like a team within the brokerage.
Okay. So you have some different options
Yes.
depending on what agent is interested and where they are in their business.
Correct.
As you're looking to grow, whether that's on the team side or maybe the brokerage side, what are you looking for? Like in 2023, we've really been talking a lot about what's working in real estate is working. You got to get out there and you have to work.
Yeah.
And as we look towards 2024, what are you seeing in agents who are successful, who are making it, who have what it takes to do real estate?
There's a particular agent in mind that I have that she was a new agent. She was a good friend of mine, and she was a hairstylist for many, like 20
So
plus
she can talk to
years.
people.
Yes, and she can talk to difficult people, and she can on a regular basis. And what I found from her is she just had a deep yearning to learn and ask the right questions. And she didn't just ask to ask, she asked the right questions.
She really cared about the
Yes.
answers.
And she also was very quick to mimic or duplicate what the example was.
Okay.
So very quick to learn, very aggressive to do the things, and willing to work really, really hard. Even though she has a husband that's an attorney and children, and she really probably doesn't have to work that hard, but she had that burning desire to be successful on her own, and that is one person. I have another person that's a whole nother podcast too. She escaped from North Korea. So she
Motivated in a whole different way.
she's just a badass. Like this woman she's worth millions. She doesn't have to work again. She created another business and sold it, got her license, called me and said, I want to sell houses now. And I'm like, come on. And so anybody that has that burning desire to succeed is going to do well.
And that's more of an intrinsic desire.
Yes.
Not necessarily because they have to.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I've quickly learned, and I think a lot of other team leads have learned too, you can give all the tools, you can give everything, but if someone doesn't want it, you can't make them do it. And that's the hardest part, I think, is that piece. And I hear that constantly from team leads, like, how do I get them to do the things, everything's here for them, but they won't do it, or they won't do it consistently.
We can't want it more than they do, right?
And that's honestly,
you have to really want that success.
Yeah, and we're seeing that day in day. I see that all the time now.
What kind of things on a daily basis are your top producers doing to get clients, to find clients, to close deals?
I think that the follow-up has been really key, and being persistent in following up, and not just saying like, okay, they said just, they're not interested. Well, like, they're just following up, finding reasons to follow up, calling and checking in, like doing all the things that we all know to do because it's work time and time again. But I think, when the leads and the buyers were coming out like a fire hose the last 3 years, it removed the necessity for people to follow up because people were following up with you. So that's where I think we're seeing a big shift in agents going, oh my gosh, I have to like actually call someone now.
And that's motivation, right? Like the client has to be motivated to buy or motivated to sell, not just like, hey, I just want to.
Yes.
For your market specifically, are you seeing like relocation in, relocation out, moving within the market? What does that look like for your business?
We actually have a really unique market. I don't think we see the high highs and we don't see the low lows. And that's been
a little more stable.
It is.
That's Portland too.
Right. So we're really lucky in that regard. We have great employment. We have great like Capital One's based out of Richmond. Some big hospital systems. There is a lot of people moving in, like from DC area. It's much cheaper to live in Central Virginia. It's a 2-hour commute.
Do people do the 2-hour commute?
Some people do.
Oh, that would kill me.
I mean, they're commuting an hour and a half anyways, living within the city. So if you have great public schools, like we're very fortunate in all of our counties. We have schools that are ranked in the national, the News World Report. They're all ranked in there.
So good schools, good infrastructure, good neighborhood. So it's worth those people to drive or commute a little longer to get that for their family.
It's a sleeper city is what I would call. Like we're almost like don't tell anybody because it's like too many people are coming and it's not. The traffic's good.
So is your inventory still low?
It's very low.
What are you doing to combat that? Do you have new construction or what's happening there to balance that?
There is new construction. I think people are just having to be more flexible about where they want to live if they have to move. Like, okay, we need to broaden our search. Okay, if your price is this, then you may have to live in a different county. And because of the way the accessibility our city is and planned, you can do that because you can pretty much get everywhere in our area within about a 40-minute drive.
So it's that combination of location, condition, price, and square footage, and working through with the client of what does that balance. If you want to stay in this budget and you want this many bedrooms, you need to go out.
Yes, or you need to be willing to get something that's like a little bit dated and not HGTV.
Not perfect move-in ready.
Because they don't like that now.
Yeah. How about affordability? Like with rates where they are, how is that affecting affordability in your market?
I feel like that's a smokescreen. Because I think when you have to move, you move. You don't even look at the rate. I got to move. Or, we do a lot. It's interesting. People are divorcing now for some reason. There's been a lot of estate stuff.
They made it through the pandemic and now they're done.
I hate you. Or like a lot of people set their final kid off and we're seeing some of that. We've seen some unfortunate, people like becoming widows or remarry, all the different
life, like all those D's of life. Yep.
So I think that's provoking stuff, and of course, job moves and transfers are provoking it. And then some people are just their house just does not work for them anymore, and they just are like, it's not. We just got to get out of it. It doesn't matter.
Right.
And so some of that, and people in rentals that are just being forced out. People like I've got one I just put under contract. The landlord after 4 years, she was a tenant for 4 years, said, "I'm selling. You're out."
Yeah.
And she's like. And to pay for a rental for $3,000 a month, like
you might as well buy
crappy rental. Like she's like, hell no. Yeah. So we found her something really quickly, and she was really excited. So it just depends. Like I think you have to be willing to do the work. And she said there was an agent said, oh, you need to be willing to go into another rental for 6 months, and then we'll find you something. And I was like, what? So that's another thing. It's like, do the work. Mm-hmm. And be hungry for your client, and that's the problem. The passiveness is what I'm seeing from agents. That's been
they have to be really proactive and out there and figuring it out and finding the house and finding the inventory.
Solution. So where's the solution? You got a problem? We need a solution.
Yeah.
And at least try. Like she was a cash buyer 45 days. This is what an agent told her. She's like, you're not the one for me. She came and found me.
Right.
And we put her under contract in 2 days. So
because she was a buyer, she wanted to buy a house. And sometimes I think we forget to listen to our clients, right? And then sometimes we listen to the clients and yet we know that's not really true, right? I met with a client a week and a half ago and she's like, my lease is through February. I'm not going to buy anything until like maybe January. And I had a new agent shadowing me at the appointment. And after we were done, I said to my new agent, I said, $5 bet, I have her in contract in 30 days.
I believe
because she's using words that says I'm not ready. But she just got through a divorce. She's super excited about this next chapter. Yeah. She's tired of that old chapter, and she's ready. And first time out, first house we saw, she made an offer on. Now, we went houses that day to make sure that really was the one. Yeah. But we're pending on that house. Because sometimes our clients use words, but it's not really what their behaviors and their actions want. They just don't want us to pressure them, right?
She wanted us to sit back. They want to have options. They don't want to feel like, what if I don't find the house? And I told you that, and then I have to take my words back. They don't like that either, I think. They don't want to be disappointed. And
they don't want to be settled, right? They don't want to settle. No. They want to but for her, she found like that was the dream home. So sometimes we have to leave the door open to find that dream home quickly.
100%. And I think that's, what's that saying? What was the guy, the conversation guy, be curious. Like ask the questions and just be curious and don't talk. That's really hard.
I was going to say, that's really hard for me too. So when you're talking to one of the agents on your team and they're having struggles with that buyer who's unrealistic, they have champagne taste, beer budget, they really want something that they can't afford or they don't want to push their price up. What do you use in that? What do you teach your agents to say to like work with the buyers on being more realistic in their expectations?
I actually have a conversation about what about the area is that's so mandatory that they be there. Because sometimes it's in their mind, they think it's closer to work or it's the area they want to be in. But if you can show them, hey, this is on the different side of town, but you're going to get everything you want in your budget and you may commute 10 more minutes. Wouldn't that be worth it for you to move forward? So I think just getting permission to say, like, would you be open-minded to at least just look? Yeah. We can still keep the search on here, but if you were open-minded, you could be in a house and you're not going to be sitting and waiting anymore. I mean, and once they hear that, I just think that people, we want to keep them focused, but with our market now and the inventory that we're in, we have to open it up.
You have to have some flexibility around that. Yep. No, I like that. I like the would you be open-minded to thinking about this? Or would you be open-minded to your payment being $30 a month more?
Exactly.
Right?
Or just
that
saying,
kind of
like, how about we talk, is there anybody that could help you? And I did this with several people because you have to waive things. Is there any monies that we don't know about? Is there anybody that could help support you if the appraisal doesn't come through or if this were to happen?
Worst case, hopefully not, but worst case, would somebody back you?
Because I'm not going to like lie to them and say it won't happen and then we waive everything and it's your fault, right? And then also we worked on getting an inspector to do walkthrough inspection this during showings and getting permissions when nothing's written up. Yep. So they just point things out.
Just a quick, more casual inspection.
So they feel a little bit more comfortable if they were to waive. And it costs it's $150 just for his time. And he's like, I don't see any concern. There's nothing structural. There's nothing crazy. There's always going to be stuff.
Right.
But for you to get this house, is it worth getting it? You may pay the same amount, but you're going to win. So sometimes it's just different tactics, I think, and just making sure that teaching agents to communicate with the other side. That's the biggest issues I'm seeing is there's a lack of communication too. With our clients and with the other agent. With everybody.
Well, and our job as a buyer's agent, especially on the front side, is having that listing agent love us.
Yes.
Having them pick us, pick our offer, know that our client's going to take it to the finish line, because that's what they want for their seller.
Yes.
And so we have to be very, we schmooze a lot on that buyer. Absolutely. Once we're in contract, then we can play a little bit harder ball, right? Then it's like the buyer gets the house if they want the house.
Yeah.
So then we're still nice, we're still professional, but we don't have to be quite so schmoozy because the buyer already has the house.
It does, and I think it says a lot it's about, again, taking your feelings and putting it on the buyer and seller. It has nothing to do with my feeling on this. Is a reminder to them, we're not here to fight. Yeah, we're trying to do the best for our clients. And the best for our clients is to go to the closing table.
Right.
So
and that's the best for both clients.
Yes.
Right? That's the best for both of our clients.
So what can we do? Let's remove ourselves, even if sometimes gets contentious. We had an issue recently in our office about that. And
we have to collaborate, right? We have to come together. We have to collaborate. We have to go towards the closing table.
Hence my brokerage, the collaborative.
Naming brokerages is actually really hard. So actually, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
We had to have our 9-year-old name our brokerage because we couldn't figure out a good name for our brokerage.
I love your name, but I know it has something to do. I know it has the street rate.
It's a street. Really, Lovejoy was the founder of Portland. Two people flipped a coin to name Portland, and Asa Lovejoy was one of the people who flipped the coin. So it has some Portland historic stuff.
I love that.
But because we have an office in Vancouver, an office in Salem, I didn't want to be Portland centric.
Yes.
And we've never had our office on Lovejoy actually, but we used to live on Lovejoy Street. And so that's how our kid was like, how about Lovejoy? And I'm like, I kind of like it. And so now I love it. I just no hearts. That's too cheesy, so no hearts. But Lovejoy is great without hearts.
I do love it.
So it's been kind of fun.
My daughter would be all about the hearts. Why didn't you want hearts?
No hearts. Alicia, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Jenny Turner with Lovejoy Real Estate. Subscribe, follow us wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Alicia Soekawa with The Collaborative, and love to have you follow me on IG. It's @alicia.rva.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.